Welcome to Nornie's Big Hugs, where we wiggle, we giggle, we use our imagination and have a great time. I am so happy you're here today. You see, every week we travel the United States, visiting a different state every week. Today we're going to be up here in New York on the East Coast. These green dots mean we've already been to those states. We've gone a long way, and we're going to hit every state before we're done. You can find these videos in the playlist below, so please watch them as many times as you want, hit subscribe, and have a great time. So before we do our big hugs here in New York, let's do a little bit of warm-up. We're going to go backstroke, front stroke, and a little bit of march, okay? Just kind of loosen us up. Here we go. Let's do some backstroke. Okay, now these videos are you doing you, which means if I'm going backwards and you're going forwards, perfect. You can't do this wrong. Now I am going forwards. You go to your degree of movement, your own pace, and your range of motion. Promise me? Okay, couple more. Let's do a big inhale. Oh, it feels good. And exhale. And I'm just lightly marching, getting my legs moving. Inhale and exhale. Okay, let's kind of shake it up, okay? You ready? Okay. Before we begin our big hugs, I like to share a fun fact about each state. So the fun fact here in New York is about toilet paper. Joseph Gayetty in New York City invented toilet paper. I thought that was so fascinating and so funny. So the next time you use your toilet paper, you can thank Mr. Gayetty, okay? Great. Okay, I'm gonna switch my boards and we're gonna get going here with our first big hug. And it is going to be 7 spikes. Now this is a picture of the Statue of Liberty, or at least the upper part of her, mainly so you can see the crown. You can see there's 7 spikes here on the crown. Each of those spikes, it has been said, represents one of the 7 continents as well as the 7 oceans. I put detailed information about that in the description, so check it out. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to kind of get our brains engaged a little bit, because what we're going to do is when we step out, the leg we step out, the arm raises, it's going to have the number 5. The other hand is just going to have 2 for 7. Get it? 7 spikes? Okay, then we're going to come together, and then we're going to go the other side, so that arm will have 5, and the other one will have 2, and then we come together, okay? So we'll go a little slow at the beginning, and then I'm going to speed it up and see if we can do it, or see if I can do it, okay? You ready? Here we go. So step out, and then come together. Step out the other leg, raise that with 5 fingers, and 2 fingers, and come together. Okay, Nornie's messing this up. Okay, so we step out with 5, raise 2, and then we come together. There we go. Step out with the left with my 5 fingers, and then 2, and then together. Okay, you got it? Here we go. I'm gonna go a little bit faster. 5, 2, together. 5, 2, together. 5, 2, together. 5, 2, together. How are you doing? Remember, you can't do it wrong. Let's do it one more time. 5 and 2 for the 7 spikes. Come together. And then 5 and 2 and come together. That was fun. Thanks for playing. Had a great time. Big, big hug. Okay. Our second big hug here in New York is going to be north and south. That is because, let me just put this down here, the Hudson River runs both north and south, which I thought was very fascinating. So when the tide is high, it runs to the north, and when the tide is lower, it goes back south towards the sea. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically do a V-step up, and then we'll go back. So we're going to go to the north, okay, stepped out, put my arms up, and then we're going to go back to the south, okay? I'm going to put our arms down. So we'll go to the north, step out, step back to the south. To the north, to the south. Now, am I really going to the north and south? I don't know, but we're just using our imaginations, okay? To the north and south, to the north and south, to the north and south. Let's do that one more time. To the north and south. That was fun. I hope you had a good time imagining the river going up and back. Big, big hug. Okay. Our third and final big hug here in New York is going to be the Waterfall Bend. And I have to give my husband Tom credit for this big hug because he came up with that. I call him my consultant. So what we're gonna do, because Niagara Falls is a famous waterfall on the border of Canada and the United States there in New York. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move our fingers kind of like pretending they're the water, and then we're gonna put our arms all the way around, still wiggling our fingers, and then come down like we're falling like a waterfall. And then still wiggling our fingers, we're gonna come all the way back up, okay? We're gonna do that again. Wiggle your fingers and just go over as far as you can go. Okay, and then come back up, wiggle your fingers like the water. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the side, like the water's falling over this side of the waterfall. Okay, wiggle your fingers. Can you feel the cool, cool water? Okay, now I'm gonna go to the other side, going down, 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 water's falling, and then we're coming back up. Okay, let's do one more big one to the front. So bring our arms all the way back, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay, bend over, bend, and let the water fall. And we'll just stay here while the water just goes down the river. Okay, and then we come back up. Okay, that was it. Thank you, that was so much fun. Big, big hug. Well, I hope you enjoyed New York. Next week, come back, please, because we're gonna stay here on the East Coast and come down to North Carolina, okay? So until then, subscribe, go watch these videos as many times as you want, giggle and wiggle with me, and have a great week. Bye, big hugs.